Hello, good day to everyone. Let me begin the class today taking you on a tour around the book. This is a quite thorough method and it would be good to know all that it can offer to us. So let's begin by having a look at this. This is the contents of the book. Here you have information on what you are going to deal with this course. Hopefully we will get to see all the units and to do all the work in all the units, and we will do some additional topics that will be added throughout the course. Then the book has different sections, different units. We have just done Unit 1A. It has 10 units altogether, which cover different grammar topics, vocabulary topics, and pronunciation topics. Every 2 units, we have a unit called Practical English, where we have a look at more practical aspects of the language, and it is presented in a kind of soap opera. I mean, it's like un culebrón que ens van ensenyant una història. So you see episodes every 2 units, and by the end of the year you get to know the whole story. So this is every 2 units because you also have every 2 units a revise and check unit, where you revise the contents, the grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation of the previous 2 units. Apart from this, and you've been there, sorry, I'm just scrolling down. I need to go faster. Yes, there's a communication section. I'm not going to say anything about this because this year is special. We cannot do so much pair work and group work, but we will do some activities from this area as well. This is a section where you have to, with exercises, to work in pairs or in groups. Then there's the writing section. Here you have some help on how to write different types of texts. For example, the first one is a description of a person, and here they tell you, they give you some tips on how to write a description of a person. And if you keep passing the pages, you see different types of text and instructions on how to write these types of texts. Okay, we will do some of this. Other writings will be not from the book but from other sources. Then if another section on, well, it's my page 125, but it might be a different page on your book, is the listening. You have all the listenings from the course. You have the text, the scripts. So this is good if you have a listening in class and you've heard something, and I heard something, I want to know what they say, but the teacher didn't mention it. So you can, at home, you can go there and read all the text and find the piece of text that caught your attention and we didn't comment in class. Then the grammar bank, we've been there, we've done this in class. So here you have at the end of the book, in this blue section, you have all the grammar explanations. Then in the green section you have all the vocabulary from all the topics that we deal with in the book. Okay. Then we have later on 2 pages with, or is it just one? No, just 1 page with irregular verbs. Here you have around, I'm going to say 75, 80 verbs, irregular verbs. You have the same verbs from last year maybe, and some new ones, because every year we add some new irregular verbs to the list, but here you have the most important ones. So with this you can cover 90% or 80% of the conversations you are going to have. Then the next section is the sound bank. Here you have all the symbols that are used in the transcriptions, and you have an example, for a picture. For example, here you have A, and then you see the picture of a train, and you have the word that illustrates this sound. You have the usual spelling. You know that in English spelling is very difficult or a bit irregular, but sometimes certain rules or certain clusters are pronounced in the same way. So here you have the usual spelling of this sound, and you have the exceptions, right? Other sounds that represent this, sorry, other spellings that represent this sound. Okay, so for example, this sound is, I don't know, you don't know the sound that presents it, but you have a lot of examples, and I'm sure you will know one of the words, so you can imagine what sound we're talking about. Okay, you don't have this part. Right, this is about the book. So it's good to know the sections it has and what we can find. But the most important, or not the most important, but a very interesting part of the book for you is the online practice that it has, that accompanies it. And for that you have to you have to go to English File Online. If you type English File Online or something like that, you will get the first entry will be this. If you go here, this is an online area with extra activities and exercises and resources that can help you with your book and with your study. So first of all, if you don't have a user, you have to register. I'm not going to do it because I have a user. To register, you need the access code that you will find inside your book, and which is covered with a black tape, right? So you have to take out that tape and a number will appear. You have to use that number to create your registration, to your account. So you do that, and when you do it, and they send you an email, you confirm your email, you follow all the process. When you have registered, then you come back here, and then you can sign in with your ID. I'm going to sign in. Okay, well, I have two books because I teach two levels, but we are doing this one. So if you go here, you have different sections, right? You have basically home. You don't have this section because this is when you have more than one book. Then practice, which is the one we're going to have a look at now, resources, and the sound bank. So let's begin with practice. And for example, I'm going to take unit 1A, which is the one we have done in class. So you see you have two exercises on grammar, on the grammar from the unit, so present and simple and continuous, and action and non-action verbs. So here you can have some additional practice to that from the class. So basically here you have to read the grammar bank. Okay, so you have to use the verbs in brackets to write correct sentences. So for example, I have high cholesterol, so I never eat fried food. I don't know, this exercise sounds familiar to me though. Anyway, so you do all the, you fill in all the gaps, and then find in the end you can check the answers. When this button is enabled, it won't be enabled until you answer fill in all the gaps. I'm just doing this silly thing, which is answering something, so to let you see that the button will become red. when everything has been, no, it doesn't work. Why not? I don't know if I'm doing something wrong. Oh, here, I missed the spot. Okay, now you see when you complete all the gaps, then this button is enabled, and then you can check your answers. Okay, it tells you that is completely wrong, so you can try again, or you can see the answers, right? So if we see the answers will be shown to us. Also, you have the listening.
1. I have high cholesterol, so I never eat fried food.
So you can also listen to all the sentences. We go back there, so you see that this is just one exercise, but we have another exercise on grammar. Then we also have different exercises on vocabulary, food and cooking, for example. Okay.
Baked.
So you have to do some kind of matching, I guess. Drag and drop. Okay. Fried, and so on. Well, let me do it. Otherwise, I can show it to you. Boiled and grilled. Okay, and then you check it. Correct. Okay. So then also an exercise on pronunciation, and then also listening practice. So here it says, listen to part 1 of an interview with Chef Steve Anderson. Put the photos in the correct order as they appear in the conversation. Okay, so a lot of exercises that you can do at home apart from class to consolidate all the contents and all the language that has been presented to you in class. So very interesting. Right, apart from this, well, sorry, let me add that at the end of it all, you have, as you keep doing exercises, your scores come here, and he shows you a breakdown of your scores in terms of grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, listening, speaking, and so on. So you get you have a graphic idea of your strong areas and your weak areas as well. So then you have the resources part, and this is also very interesting because here you have, for example, students' book audio. You have all the listenings from the book, right, from the students' book. For example, Unit 1A.
1.3 2 Cooking 6 Baked.
So this would be all the audios from the book. So at home you can listen to them if you have any doubts about the pronunciation, or I don't know, if you didn't come to class, you can do that part at home as well. Or notice also that you can download the audio, in particular, that one in particular, 1.3, but you can also download all the audios from lesson 1A, and even if you just want to have them, all of them at a go, you can download all the students' books audio, right? It's a zip file, you download it, and then you decompress it in your computer. But not only that, you also have the workbook audio. So the part in gray in the book where you do the extra exercises, your homework, which, by the way, I didn't comment. I'll do it in class. Also has audios, right? So all the audios are here too. Not only that, you also have the practical English video. So all the videos that appear in the book. For example, this one.
I can't believe we got here so late.
I'm sorry, Jenny. I had to finish that article for Dawn.
Don't forget.
Okay, so all the audios are, all the videos are also here. And again, you can download them, all of them together in a zip file or one by one. Also the video listenings, the revise and check videos, that is to say the videos that appear every 2 units. You also have the audio and video scripts, and this is well, the scripts of the video. Let me show you. Okay, here you have everything that is set in these audios, right? Okay, right, you can download this as well if you're interested. The workbook audio script and the video script. Okay, this is help in case there's somebody with dyslexia. Here you have the same texts as in the book, but with a different presentation, which makes reading easier, right? So you can download it if it's your case, download it and print it somewhere, and then you can use this text instead of the ones in the book. The CFR portfolio. Word list. Word list, it's a compilation of words, all the words that appear in the book. For example, this is a very unpleasant document, I know, but I don't know, may serve for some people. If you make it bigger, sorry. So here you have, for example, words aubergine, avocado, etc. Tells you if it's a noun, if it's an adjective, a verb, or whatever. The pronunciation, an example sentence, because it's always good to see the word in context, and then the meaning in Spanish, in this case, the unit where it appears, and so on. So if you find this useful, you can also use it. You have it in Catalan also, in Galician, in Euskera and Aranese. And finally you have the pocketbook. Pocketbook is also a compilation of all the grammar of the unit. Maybe you want to print it out to keep reading it on the underground, or maybe you want to I don't know, to have it near you on your bedside table to have a look at it at night. I don't know. You see here you have all the grammar explanations from the book. Okay. Then finally you have the sound bank, where you have all the sounds from the English language, and where you can practice one in particular if you have problems with that sound. For example, this one is it's a difficult sound for Spanish people, the sound. So you want to practice it.
Bird.
This is
Earth. Bird. Prefer.
okay. So you get the symbol, a drawing that represents where the sound appears, like in bird, and then you can see her mouth, how your mouth is placed, how your mouth is shows you how to pronounce it, and also 3 example words, which is a good way to practice it. So there you have another resource, and that's all. So I think you should be using this if you're feeling that you need some extra help on what we are doing in class. This is something good that you can do, right, on the one hand. Okay, so this is the end of the tour. Right, let's go back to the class. The previous day I had given you this photocopy, and well, actually there's nothing to do with it. The only thing you had to do was just to reflect on it. So it's here you have typical phrases that you can use in class. And why? Because now we are supposed to use English all the time in class. with the teacher when you ask me questions or when you comment things, but also with your classmates. So it's good that if you use English with your classmates, at least during the time of the class. Outside school, obviously, maybe you will change to Catalan or Spanish. So here you had some useful phrases, and you had to read them and just make sure that you know what they are used for, and to keep it in mind and use it in the future when needed. So I'm not going to need this. Let me just 1 second check what we did in class. So I'm going to pause the video for a second. Yeah, we started the class with some, well, I commented on this activity that I have posted. This is the extra activity of this week. It's a listening. It's more similar to what you are going to have in the exam than actually what you have in the book. So I recommend you do this listening. It's the level is similar, the type of exercise is also similar, and the type of questions is more similar than what you have in the book. So do it and follow the instructions here, and you tell me what you think about this listening. Then we began the class doing some here vocabulary and food. I've given you a link here, and where you can find dozens of activities about food, about vocabulary and food of your level, intermediate. So we did one, I don't remember which one exactly, but this you can pick 3 or 4 and do them at home. I'm just using one at random. For example, you have here, and what you have to do is, I guess, exactly, you have to say what they are. So okay, you can do this type of exercise. Where's the blackberry here? Blueberry, olive, maynard, acorn, pistachio, and check. Okay, so oh, there's one which is incorrect, sorry. Okay, so you do the exercise, right? And well, this is some extra, right? If you feel you don't need it, but there's a lot of vocabulary about food. Maybe you want to expand your vocabulary. Here you have a lot of exercises that you can. It's 2 pages, so you can do any exercise. So we started the class with that, and I was showing you some of the exercises to show you this web page that you could use, and then we began talking about the grammar of this unit. Let me go there. Sorry. That is 1A. Yep. Okay, the page is not loading. Okay, I'm going to pause again to load the page. Yes, we had done this the other day, so we went here to the grammar section, which is on present simple and continuous. I know these tenses, you've seen them in first year, second year, and so on. But here we add something extra, which is we talk about the action and non-action verbs. So first of all, a recognition exercise. It says, look at 3 sentences from the interview and circle the correct verb form. So maybe you can do this, pause the video and do it. I will show you in a second. Okay, I hope you have the same, right? And then you will listen that they are actual sentences from the listening.
1.10.
1.
1.
You don't need anything except lemon and olive oil when fish and seafood is really fresh.
2. 2.
This week, for example, I'm making dakos, a Cretan salad made with fresh goat's cheese, tomato and bread.
3.
I go to Crete maybe 4 or 5 times a year.
Okay, and then we discussed why here we choose I go, why here we choose I'm making, and where here we choose you don't need, right? The explanation is here in your grammar bank. So we went there and we read all the explanations on present simple, which basically is used for things that are always true. For example, I live in Barcelona. That is a thing that is true, so we use the present simple for that. Then, well, here it reminds you of the spelling rules for the S, also the order, the use of the auxiliary. Okay, I'm not going to go over this because this you are supposed to know this already, and we're going to do some practice. Okay, then we also talked about the use of present simple with adverbs of frequency and the position they take in the sentence. Remember the adverbs of frequency, that is to say usually, always, never, often, rarely, occasionally. All these adverbs go before the main verb, but exception, they go after the verb to be, like here in the examples here, right? She usually has cereal for breakfast, but with the verb to be, it comes after the verb. I'm never late for work. Okay, then we had a look at the present continuous, which is done with the verb to be and the gerund, and we talked about the use of the present continuous, which is for actions in progress at the time of speaking. As I say, contrarily to present simple, which is used for habits, actions that keep repeating with a periodicity, with a certain periodicity, we're talking now about spontaneous things or things that are happening now at the moment of speaking, or also around the present. It needn't necessarily be that the action is happening now. It could also be around the present. For example, I'm reading a very interesting book. It doesn't mean that I'm reading it now. It means I have a book on my bedside table and I read it every night, and this activity is going to be temporary because I will finish reading it in 1 week or 2. So that is the main difference, right? And then we also talked about action and non-action verb, because there are verbs that can't take the continuous form. So there are verbs that refer to actions happening now, so we should use the present continuous, but because of the nature of these verbs, they can't be used in a continuous form. Okay, and these verbs are, here you have a list of these verbs. The verbs agree, be, believe, belong, depend, forget, hate, hear, know, and so on, right? All these verbs normally are not used in a continuous form, right? Because they are static, they are non-action verbs. So an action verb is, for example, cook, make, right? And then action verbs can be used in present, in simple or continuous forms. But these ones, the static or non-action verbs, can't be used in continuous forms. Then we mentioned these two other verbs, the verbs have and think, which can be action and non-action at the same time, depending on the meaning they have. For example, if you use the verb have, for example, when you use it with have lunch, have dinner, have a drink, have a walk, then it's an action verb, and you can use it in the continuous form. For example, I'm having lunch. But have also means possession when you refer to your possessions, and then, for example, I have a cat now. In this case, it is not an action verb, it's a non-action verb when it refers to possession. Okay? Same happens with the verb think. The verb think can be used as an action verb when you refer to the action of thinking, of having mental activity, right? What are you thinking about? I mean, what is the mental activity inside your head now? But it can also be non-action when think means opinion. It's my opinion. For example, I think this music's great. It's my opinion that this music's great. So this would be the difference. Anyway, you can read it. You can ask me in class if the explanation was not very clear. And then there are some exercises that you can do, and some exercises that we did in class. So let's do them now. Do this exercise. You have to circle the correct form, present simple or present continuous. As always, stop the video, do it, and then come back and check it, because I'm going to show you in a couple of seconds. This would be the answers. Okay, let me erase it. And now let's do exercise B. Stop the video again. I will show you the solutions right now. Okay, do it, and these are the solutions. Okay, I'm going to pause for a minute. So when we finished with the grammar explanation, we came and did this exercise here. First of all, before starting talking in pairs about these topics, what we did was making right questions from this prompt. So I suggest you stop the video now and write the questions for these prompts, and then we will check it. Okay. Have you written all the questions? So these are the questions in full form. You will notice that in theory, on a typical day, we are expected to use present simple because it's a typical thing, so it's a thing, and it will talk about actions that keep repeating on a daily basis. So that's a habit, that's a regular action, that's present simple, right? So you see we use present simple all the time. And in the second section, at the moment, so nowadays, in theory we have to use present continuous because we are talking about something temporary, something around the present. But if you notice, there are two sentences where we are not using present continuous because we have non-action verbs, we have static verbs. And then as was taught in the unit, when we have these verbs, we cannot use progressive tenses, we cannot use present continuous. So the sentences are these ones. And if you see here, we are using present simple. Do you need to buy any food today? We're talking about today, but we are using the verb need, and the verb need is a non-action verb. Same happens with the same sentence. Do you want to eat anything right now? Okay, we are using here the verb want, and the verb want again is a non-action verb. That's why these two sentences come in present simple, whereas the rest take present continuous. As you can see, are you taking? Are you trying? Is the diet getting better or worse? All right. So once we did this, once we wrote the questions for these prompts, we talked a little about this, and as we were talking in pairs, We also talked about coincidences, and we used neither or both, something that we mentioned in the previous class. Soon I will post an exercise on neither and both, so that we can practice it a little further. Okay, that will be on the Moodle section of the book. Perfect. So we finished that, and then we went on speaking, and we had some topics related to food somehow, and eating at restaurants, and so on. And we discussed these topics and in terms of agreeing or disagreeing with them. So we had 6 topics here, and what we did was go into Mentimeter, and we did this visually in class. So this is what we saw in the other class. If you want to contribute to this, you can go to menti.com, use the code, this code here, and then you can contribute to this. But so far 11 people did it, and these were the topics, and these were the answers from the people. So for example, at first sight, what we can see is that everybody should learn to cook at school. A lot of people agreed with this. So most of you, most of the people who gave their opinion thought that cooking should be part of the school program. Also noticeable is this statement here: waiters should earn a good salary and tips should be banned. Okay, so most of you thought that this should be like this, that waiters should earn a good salary, so that people don't have to give a tip when they go to a restaurant. Okay, so have a look at this, right? If you want, you can express your opinion. You can always open a topic in the. This is a good moment to mention this. That well, not here, of course. Yes, I'm going to open a forum. I'll open just below this one. I'll open it just below this one, for you to express your opinion wherever you feel like it. I think just came to me like that right now, but I think there should be an open forum, and I'm going to open it right now when I finish recording this class. Okay, so if you want to leave your opinion about this this question these issues that we mentioned, you can do it there as well. Okay. Right, something else that we did in class was I told you about the oral exam, in the final exam, the speaking part of the exam, and I told the students, and I told you now, that it has 2 parts. The first part is describing a photograph to a partner. So you take this this examination, you take it in pairs. There's 2 people, 2 students and 2 teachers, and you are given a photograph, each of you, and the first thing that you have to do is describe this photograph to your partner. And as this is an important part of the exam, I considered that it was a good moment to introduce the following: how to mention different parts of a photograph. And that's why I posted this. This is an activity that you can find here in this section, September and October, and it's phrases to describe a picture. So if you open it, you get this very old-fashioned picture, but okay, anyway, it serves the purpose for this. And here you see different hotspots in the picture, right? And this represent parts of the picture that you may want to refer to when you are describing it. So for example, you may want to say that at the top of the picture there's a blue sky and birds are flying, for example, right? So if you refer to this part of the picture, you would say at the top of. If you refer to this part of the picture, you would refer to it as at the bottom of the picture. Okay, so different parts of the picture. I suggest you go there and try to remember how you call these parts, right? This would be in the foreground, okay, in the distance. You can see something in the distance, right? The contrary, when it's the first thing you see in the picture, the focus of the picture even, that would be in the foreground. Okay, here in this picture, in the foreground we have a dog walking on a path. Maybe this could also be the foreground, the mother and child feeding the swans. Okay, I don't know, but foreground is something that is almost the focus of the picture. This would be in the middle of the picture, or also in the center. Remember that when we refer to right and left, we use preposition on, so on the right and on the left. And also you may want to talk about things going on in the corners of the picture. So there are 4 corners in each picture, and you have to differentiate them by top, bottom, bottom, right, left, right, left. So this would be the top left-hand corner, in the top left-hand corner. And this one would be in the bottom right-hand corner. Okay, so if you want, you can go to this section and try to remember. Let's see if you can remember the phrases we use to describe a picture. As you see, the phrases are hidden, so you just click here and then they will appear on the screen. Okay, and after this we didn't have much time left, and what we did was just describe a photograph, right? So we described a photograph, and we saw if it was similar to what we imagined or not, depending on how good the description was. Okay, so we're going to do an exercise now. I'm going to describe a photograph to you, which I will show later, and maybe you can use a pen and a piece of paper and try to make a sketch of what I am describing to you. Okay, so I'll have my photograph here on my mobile phone, and I will try to describe it. Okay, here it goes. Well, it's a bit complex to describe it, but let's see. In the middle of the photograph, and occupying a good part of the photograph, I can see a plastic cup with the remains of a drink. Maybe there is a third or even less, a fourth of the total amount of the drink, and there are some ice cubes also. So it's basically ice cubes with some liquid, and there is a straw. So there's the plastic cup with the ice cubes, a straw. There's also a lid. It's this kind of cups that come with a lid, and it's sitting on a I would say that it's a bench, so you can see the perspective of the bench, and on the left of the bench there is a brick wall, part of it, because it doesn't arrive to the top part of the photograph, but there is a brick wall, and on the right you don't have anything. You can see the background in the distance, like some buildings and some vegetation. Okay, I don't know if you did this. It was a very complex photograph. It was like a challenge for me to describe it, and that's why I chose it. And let's see, I'm going to show you now the photograph. If you didn't have time, you can go back in the recording and listen again, and I hope the explanation was more or less good, so that you could get a picture of what I was seeing here. So I'm going to show you the photograph. Okay, this is what I was trying to describe. So you see the plastic cup with the lid here, and the straw, the ice cubes, so there's almost no liquid in it. I think this is a bench. I'm not sure, but it looks like a bench, and you can see the perspective of the bench. Okay, and on the left the wall. Well, now I see, because I was looking at it on my phone, and now I see that maybe it's, yes, a wall and a window, maybe. Yeah. Okay. In any case, I describe it as a brick wall that it was half size. It didn't cover the whole left part of the photograph. Then I said that on the right of the picture you could see the background, right? Houses, some vegetation, and so on. Well, I don't know. Please tell me if your picture was similar, or even you can make a photograph of it and post it in the forum. It will be fun to see what you got. Okay. All right. So basically, this is all for today. I'm going to post as well homework for next day, the photocopy I gave in class. It's on grammar, it's on present simple and present continuous, so you will find the photograph below this video. Okay? Alright, so have a nice weekend. See you all. Bye bye.